Good evening, everyone. Welcome to your Rangers Review Team News Reaction video live from Ibrox ahead of tonight's game against St Mirren. And some surprises in there, it's fair to say. Chris joins us from, I think you're in the press room there, Chris, tonight?
Yes, in the seat that the PR team will be sitting in a couple of hours' time, and to my right will be, or not my right, but to the right of them later on will be Danny Rule and whatever player Rangers put up as well. So in the main kind of media interview room that people know and love already, there's always a bit of a flow of in and outs in this room pre-match. That Heart and Hand boys come in and do their pre-match show. We then jump on and do our live video, and usually Stevie's in for his pre-match content as well. So a bit of a revolving door on this press room on this press room ahead of the game.
Yep, final game of 2025, of course. In terms of the menu tonight, have you helped yourself to any food? What's offering tonight?
Not yet. No, I came in and sat down and caught up with a couple of boys that I've not seen for a while over Christmas. I think there is soup on the go. I saw that on my way out the door. So if there's any left, I'll maybe get that, and then I might venture down for a half-time pie and cup of tea as well.
Yeah, I hope there's a bit more than soup. Always, they should be laying on. Were you there at the? I know we digress a little bit here. Were you there for the game against Motherwell? Was there any sort of Christmas dinner put on?
I was here for Motherwell. Again, there was something pre-match, but I didn't have anything. Again, I usually kind of spend the pre-match time kind of catching up with people and
too busy.
Too busy, doing a bit of networking and a bit of chin wagging, and we're only here for the gossip as well. So I usually spend my pre-match doing that, and then venture downstairs for a pie and a cup of tea at half time. Unfortunately I missed out on the game the other day. I only got back up for the last 10-15 seconds or so. A big DJ speech. I missed the start of it because I was taking care of my stomach. So I might just actually send Johnny. I'm on duty with the boss man tonight, so I might send him downstairs for a pie for me at half time, and I'll stay up and see what Rangers legend is going to entertain the crowd at half time with.
Yes, it's a team game, so just incidentally, folks, Johnny will be joining me at full time. But without much further ado, let's get the team up for tonight. So this is how Rangers line up against the Buddies. Butland in goal, back four, Tavernier. John Sousa returns to the starting 11 alongside Manny Fernandez, Jayden Magoma on the left, midfield of Raskin, Diamande and Asgard, with Gassama, Moore supporting Yusuf Chermiti up top. On the bench for Rangers, as you can see the ticker below, Kelly and Ciala, Aarons, Dowell, Barron, Curtis, Matondo. He's alive. He's back in the squad, Cameron and Danilo. But as soon as I seen that team tonight, Chris, I immediately thought of Dujon Sterling, who was a topic of discussion on today's show alongside Blair and Stevie. We're speaking about how good he's been playing as a centre-half, and he's not even in the matchday squad. Neither is Bojan Miovski. I've got to say I'm a tad concerned, and I know that Danny Rule conducts a Rangers TV interview pre-match. I'm hoping to get a bit of an insight as to why he's not available tonight. But going by the comments coming in as well, there's a lot of anxious bears out there.
It's definitely one that stands out, and I think that says a lot about how Dujon has come back into this side over the last couple of games and how he's performed. We know that he is adaptable. We know that he's flexible. We know that he can play in different positions. His return to this side came at the ideal moment. You look at the other defensive issues that Rangers have had, and it's just It is a blow that he's not available. I think he's one that people will have been looking out for, but as far as I'm aware, it's not an issue as such. It's just something that you have to be mindful of the length of time that he's been out injured, or that he was out injured. It was a serious injury to come back from, and as far as we understand it, it's just a case of his minutes and his load being managed. I think people will immediately see that he's not in the squad, and they'll say that's him injured again. How long is he going to be out for? As far as we understand it tonight, that's not the case. He has, since he's come back in, he has played quite a lot of minutes because of the Suter situation, because of the Cornelius situation. If every centre half had been available, it's then easier to bring Dujon back in and maybe just give him half an hour here, half an hour there. He's been asked to do quite a lot in the last couple of games just because of that situation. So, as far as we understand it, it is just a case of his game time being managed, his minutes being managed, and safe to say, if all goes well in his preparation, he's probably one of the first guys that you'll have on that team sheet heading into Parkhead at the weekend.
Yeah, he starts on Saturday, but it's totally understandable. It's just, you can understand why fans get a little bit apprehensive when they don't see him in that squad. And of course, no Miovski in there either. So the onus is on Yusuf Chermiti to lead the line once again. Will he get his third goal of the season tonight? We'll soon find out. Rangers created a number of opportunities against Motherwell in that last game, just unable to find a way through. Really, in the main, Asgard with the solitary goal in that game keeps his place, of course, in that team. In terms of that midfield, though, Chris, Rangers need more from. Nico Raskin, I think he's playing within himself at the moment. Mohamed Diamandi's form has sort of fallen off a cliff. Rangers need more from him.
They do. It's not been a good season for Diomande, has it? Now, we've spoken a lot about various aspects of that midfield, the way that it's shaped up, the ideal formation for it. We've spoken a lot and written a lot about the individuals within it. I think Diomande has probably escaped most of or a lot of the criticism, to be fair, and that is perhaps he's perhaps fortunate in that regard. Because there has been a lot of talk, obviously, about Telo Asgard coming in. People expected a lot more from him, so he's borne the brunt of a lot of the comment. There's been a lot of comment, obviously, for a variety of reasons about Nico Raskin. Diomandi's almost gone under the radar a wee bit in terms of that level of focus being on him, but he's not been anywhere near the player that I think he can be. Not been anywhere near the player that Rangers need him to be. Transfer window, obviously, opening very, very soon, as we've said, as we've reported. We understand that Rangers will look to try and strengthen that midfield. And Diomande, I think, has his place in this squad. Perhaps not in January, certainly come the summer. If the second half of the season is not a marked improvement, I think there will be real questions about Diomande's usefulness to Rangers and his place in this squad.
Interesting. A lot of comments coming in saying, "Who's on the bench? Who's on the bench?" It's on the tick. You can watch it. Obviously, you're watching this, folks, either on Facebook or on YouTube. You can see the little ticker down below on the screen. That tells you the team and also the subs. But I'll rhyme off the subs again. It's Kelly, Enciala, Aarons, Dowell, Barron's on there. A lot of comments come in saying, "Why is Connor Barron not playing?" Curtis, Matondo, Cameron and Danilo. Let's just take Matondo. Surprised to see that, Chris. Of course, I think at the time in the summer, he was expected to be back around about August time, but in true Rabbi Matondo fashion, it never quite happened. But all of a sudden, he's in the squad. Do you see him coming off the bench at some point tonight?
The first person that puts it in the comments to say he'll be like a new signing is automatically banned from the show. I don't have that power, but I will make it my mission to have that power heading into the new year to ban people who say Rabbi Matondo will be like a new signing. I think it shows the limitations of the squad. Obviously, you're missing a couple of forwards, no Miovski, you're missing Oliver Antman, obviously. So it shows where the group is. Speaking of transfers, we've said that a forward option, someone to play off that right hand side, somebody who can play in the 10. We've said that as a priority for Rangers in this window. Matondo is not the answer, is he? He's not going to be someone who's going to have an impact in the second half of this season. So hopefully it puts him in the shop window if he comes on. Hopefully he does well, and it attracts a manager or a sporting director somewhere that fancies a bid in January, because he's not for Rangers for the long term.
No, and I don't think you'll get many folk that will be disagreeing with you on that front, Chris, but I hope we're proven wrong, and he comes off the bench and puts in a worldie. But there you go. A lot of people not looking forward to it tonight, I've got to say, in terms of the contest. I said it on the show this morning. I think it's going to be a bit of a scrap tonight. I think the points are all important, of course. Don't give a jot about performance or what have you, as long as Rangers acquire 3 points, which is imperative given that they go to Parkhead in a few days' time. And let's not forget, Celtic have got a testing old match tonight over in North Lanarkshire against Motherwell, who looked decent at Ibrox a couple of days ago. So, yeah, it's an opportunity tonight, Chris, for Rangers to close the gap on Hearts, of course. They've got that game in hand. Can you see them doing that this evening? They would close it to 6 points. Hopefully the Steelmen can do Rangers a favour tonight as well. How do you see it going tonight anyway? Do you think Rangers are going to get the points?
I think that we sat here a couple of days ago ahead of the Motherwell game and said that there's no alternative. Rangers simply had to find a way to win. That was actually a really entertaining game. Really enjoyed it the other day. Motherwell clearly played their part in it. Rangers should have won by more in the end. You look at those chances late on. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that too often. That type of forward play being as wasteful. That's going to come back and haunt you. Hopefully, Rangers don't make the same mistake again. But even if they manage to find a way to win this 1-0, they just have to find a way to get the 3 points. There's a lot riding on tonight. Like you mentioned, also Celtic going to Fir Park. You will have an eye on it. You'll also have take an interest in it. But it means nothing if Rangers don't take care of their own business first and foremost. They have to find ways to win games like this. Obviously, Parkhead at the weekend speaks for itself in terms of the occasion and the importance. But tonight it's just all about Rangers finding a way to win and starting to build a wee bit of momentum. A lot more still needed. And obviously, as we've touched on a couple of times, transfer window opening in a couple of days now as well should hopefully start to solve some of the issues in this squad. So if you and Johnny are sitting here in a couple of hours' time and Rangers have managed to pick up 3 points, I think that even you say the other fans aren't perhaps overly looking forward to it. If they're going home and they've seen this side win another game, that was hopefully give them something to bounce into the new year with. Yeah,
Andy's on the drink early. He says Chermiti hat trick. So there you go. If that comes up trumps, Andy, we'll get you on the show. We'll give you that if he's taking home the match ball tonight. A few interesting points coming up. Just on Barron, David says, is it possible that Barron's are booking away from a suspension? I'm not too sure what the situation is on that one, David, I've got to say. Is Chris has been heralded out of the room, I think, but we'll round up. But CJ says Matono's been training 25-8. So there you go, that wonderful Kevin Thelwell phrase. And Bluebells are blue, not too happy with the team. He says, seriously underestimating St Mirren with this lineup. Rules decisions at times really concerns me. Don't care if people say he hasn't got much to work with. He can still make better choices. And Kevin McGuinness says, I would rather see Gassama right to Asgard on the left and Moore in the middle. We'll soon find out when the team take to the field in just under 44 minutes' time. Incidentally, that's St Mirren team, folks, for those of you that are interested. It's George, Fraser the captain, King, Freckleton, Richardson, Phillips, Gogic, Idowu, John, former Rangers player, of course, Ayunga, and Mandron. So that is how the buddies shape up tonight at Ibrox. As we mentioned, we'll be back on the full-time whistle, myself and Johnny, where we'll give our thoughts and a reaction to what will be unfolding tonight in Govan. But a big thank you to Chris and to you all for tuning in to the show. We hope your team wins and we'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.